It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Today is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. We are just a bit of a day away from Friday, which is good for all of us for many reasons. But any new day is another day separating one man from a really boneheaded mistake. I believe his name is, I'll have to double check on his name, but I think his name is Will Jordan. But I need to start this show today by asking you, Trey, and you, Raj, is this the worst answer ever given on Wheel of Fortune?
I'd like to buy a U.
Well, you're going to get 3 U's.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Treat yourself a round of sausage. Oh.
All right, that's...
When you look at the letters on the board, no. I mean, not even really close at all on that. Let me just, I'm going to play that again so we can all take that in a little bit, because this is a guy that's been a fan of the show for a very, very long time. His whole life, kind of like all of us. I believe Wheel of Fortune is older than all of us. As far as how long it's been on the air, or very close to it. I grew up watching it. Trey, you're flipping me off. I'm sorry. Are you older than Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
I think you need to put that. Do you currently have an online dating profile? Because if so, that needs to be your little headline. Older than Wheel of Fortune.
I remember Wheel of Fortune when you could go shopping. Like you could buy, like there was the Dalmatian that everybody got, like the porcelain Dalmatian. Like whatever money you won, like they put your head in a little circle and it would like kind of take you around their little shop, and you could buy like a recliner or a TV, like that stuff.
Yeah. Wheel of Fortune started in 1975. So Raj and I are both at same age or older.
Yeah, I was born the year Wheel of Fortune started.
So you guys got your AARP invitations in the mail the same time that Wheel of Fortune did.
You know that you can sign up for AARP now at any age. So Dan, you should probably get it. That way we all have it. That way we can use like a triple discount if we need it.
Oh my God. I think at that point they just have to pay us to use stuff, right?
That's the Indian idea.
I'm with you, buddy. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I like to.
So let's start this over. Is this the worst guess ever on Wheel of Fortune?
I'd like to buy a U.
Well, you're going to get 3 U's.
I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Treat yourself a round of sausage.
I'm sorry, that's not it. Over to Katina.
I would like to solve.
Okay.
Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, in all honesty, I liked his answer better. I would treat myself to a round of sausage.
You know what? Listen, if Ryan Seacrest ever leaves as the host of Wheel of Fortune, you guys, I think you're up for the gig. Just listen to this.
Although, Will, I kind of like yours better. That sounds better than just clapping, right?
See, I'm on Seacrest level.
And you know what? I have to say something. I didn't even realize that was Seacrest and this wasn't an older clip with Pat Sajak.
Right.
He's blends right in.
Sajak 2.0.
This is one of those beautiful times where you think you've got it. And in the middle of him guessing this, he realizes, oh no, I am way off. But he's already committed. So like halfway through his guess, he knows he's wrong, but he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna finish saying it. So
also at Wheel of Fortune, because it's in Culver City, and we used to get like on the actors resource, we would get the little notification. Like if you want to go be an audience member, they'll give you $8, 8 hours, you get $70 in a box lunch. So the audience is paid. So you have to also guess that maybe he's a bigger guy, the one who's solving, and maybe he didn't eat. And he was like, you know what? After I solve this puzzle, I'm going to treat myself to a round of sausage. And that's all he saw.
That makes sense because I mean, when some people get hungry, that's all they can focus on. I mean, Snickers has a whole ad campaign based around that. Like you're not you when you're hungry. So this makes sense. I mean, he's probably just hungry. He's got sausages on the brain. But listen to him like halfway through.
You get 3 U's.
I like to solve the puzzle.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Treat yourself a round of sausage.
You could even hear him right in there. You hear the little and listen.
I think he says no. I think it's what he says.
A round of sausage.
Yeah, he said, "Oh no."
He's like, oh, I've completely screwed this up. I'm not going to win.
I think the worst response was just a few weeks before Sajak left, is when some guy said something about in the butt.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the worst one.
Well, no. See, there's a difference because to me, like in Wheel of Fortune, that's 2 different categories. I believe when the guy guesses right in the butt, that may be the funniest answer ever given on Wheel of Fortune. But this may be the worst answer because those letters of what he's saying versus what they're showing don't come anywhere close to matching.
Yeah, I mean, but how far away from the thing are they? Maybe he didn't bring his glasses, and so combine bad vision and hunger.
It's a huge light up board. If you can't see that, then I don't think you'd be allowed to play. You'd be legally blind. You'd have to go up to the board and touch it for Braille.
Perspective-wise, like Vanna's head is the size of one of the tiles. Like if you're looking at it right now. So, I mean, depending on how far away, he doesn't have his glasses. He's very hungry. He's a big guy. Culver City has a few places that have sausage. I'm just saying
a little dyslexia, maybe, you know.
Maybe a little dyslexia. So you mentioned how Pat Sajak is retired now, and he's no longer the host, but Ryan Seacrest has taken over. But there is still a Sajak on the payroll at Wheel of Fortune because the daughter of Pat Sajak, Maggie Sajak, is in charge, I guess, of social media stuff for Wheel of Fortune. So on the show, she talks to the contestants between games. And this is where the next part, after Will has flubbed this guest, now he has to go do the talk of shame with Maggie Sajak.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me pull this up for you real quick. Here it is. There, I found it. All right, here we go.
All right, Will, we had a little missolve in the first game. That's
did.
okay. Could you walk me through how you're feeling?
Yeah, I tell you, when the lights are on and, you know, the stars and Ryan Seacrest, Vanna White, I just went blank. But if your dad in retirement is watching the show, maybe cracks a beer and gets a laugh, it was worth it.
Okay.
I think he got the wrong answer just to talk to her.
You think so?
100%.
It was all a ploy.
Yes. I would say that even if there were 3 letters on the board, I would still say treat yourself a round of sausages just to walk over.
Wouldn't that be? I think a better guess then would have been treat yourself to a round of Sajak.
Oh yeah, that's
like basically if that's all you want to do, then every guess that you try on Wheel of Fortune should just be I love Maggie Sajak.
I'm gonna try to get on the show to just do that. That's all I'm gonna say in every like speed round or whatever. I love Maggie Sajak. That's it.
Maybe you tag every guess with it. Like, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Give yourself a round of applause. I love Maggie Sajak. By the way, Will here, the contestant who's waited all his life to be on the show and gave a horrible answer, whether or not it was planned to talk to Maggie Sajak. He has another problem on his hands because he's a police officer, and police officers, one thing they love doing in addition to enforcing the law is pranking one another and giving each other a hard time. And he now gets to live with this, and he knows it.
And gets a laugh. It was worth it.
Okay, I will make sure that we tune in that night, okay?
Great, yes.
That's a promise I will
Awesome.
make to you.
And I'm sure I'm going to have sausages in my locker and police car when I get back. So we'll try to have some fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. It's gonna open his door and cocktail weenies are just gonna come a-flying.
I think in his fantasy, he's not the one surrounded by sausages, but it's Maggie Sajak that is.
But for the record, Randy Marsh had the worst answer on Wheel of Fortune.
Is that the dad from
Stan's dad
from South Park?
Uh-huh.
Oh yes. People who are annoying.
You know what, for today, let's just leave that right there.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That is easily the worst answer ever on Wheel of Fortune, but it's not an official Wheel of Fortune episode. So, yeah. Let's get Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the Treehouse. 833-COOK-DFW for your free roof inspection. The website, cookdfw.com. You guys do lots of great work on roofs, and the restoration part of the side of the business also means, you're doing remodeling work underneath the roof inside the home as well. And you were telling me just recently that you, Daniel, and Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration offer lifetime warranties on all your work.
Yeah, Dan, that's something that we talked about for a while now, and we decided to go ahead and just pull the trigger on it. We've had excellent reviews. We've had excellent referrals. People really love our work when they give us a chance. And we just want to put our money where our mouth is. And, that's the best way I can always say that is just back it up. Back it up. When I was growing up and I told somebody I was going to kick their ass, you got to back it up. Well, now that I'm a grown man and we're doing professional services on people's homes and I tell them that they're never going to have a better experience, I'm backing it up. We're going to take care of your home because we want you to have that peace of mind knowing that after we left, you have the very best product left behind. Your home is safe. Your family's taken care of. And that you don't have to worry about us not coming back.
You can experience it for yourself, and you can put your money where Daniel's mouth is, and he'll honor it, as you just heard. Even if he dies, he's still going to honor this stuff. I mean, that's some serious integrity and quality craftsmanship to have the confidence to be like, yeah, this is how we do things. So you give the man a call for that free roof inspection, 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
That first segment of the Treehouse brought to you by Fair Lease. Ready to get a new vehicle? Then you are ready to get a hold of our friends at Fair Lease. Save time and money on that new vehicle. No matter what it is, they'll get it and bring it to you. Just go to fairlease.org. That is fairlease.org. I got a little distracted right before we started the show today because right around the time we were supposed to start, I got a phone call from my wife, and she knew that we were about to start and everything. And so if she's calling, I figure something's wrong. And something is wrong. Something terrible has happened. There's really no other way to put it. So I'm just going to tell you guys now. My wife found a puppy in the road, and I now don't know not only what the rest of my day is going to be like, but perhaps the next 12 to 14 years.
I can guess what the day is going to be like. You're going to go shopping for like chew toys and a bed, and you got to give it a name.
A vet visit.
Yep.
If you would like to advertise in the Treehouse and you offer veterinary services, you get right to the top of the list. Please just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. This has happened before. That's how we have our cat, Warren. Because Tara was leaving work one fine afternoon many years ago, and a little kitten walked out into the middle of the road. Well, technically, it was an alleyway behind the building where she worked at the time. And this little kitten just kind of meanders out in front of her Civic. and now, like 8 years later, we've got a huge cat that's named Warren. Despite the fact I didn't want cats anymore. I grew up with cats. I love cats. Have nothing against cats, other than they pee on things, and I hate cleaning litter boxes. Hate them with a passion. Can't stand it. Totally hate it. It's one of my least favorite things. But here I am cleaning one almost every damn day. And I also grew up with cats in my family, and they really like to pee on things. And so that's another reason why I'm not a big fan of owning or having cats. Keeping in mind, again, I love them, but I do know that sort of like the law, sort of like the Supreme Court, a precedent has been set. And that is in the case of Dan versus the lost kitten. I have lost, and I am precedent that has been set. And now that my wife has found another four-legged creature in the road, I'm afraid that it's going to happen again. And we said we don't want that, but now I'm afraid.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're loving this.
Are you really going to try to sit here and say that just in the case of Tara v. Dan, that your only L is on cat?
We're only talking about this.
I think we do. Yeah, there's a broader ruling.
The case. No. What you're bringing up right now, this is irrelevant to the case at hand, sir.
Okay, let's tell me a case where Dan was victorious.
Hang on. I think I got a note. I think I've got
the book.
I think I've got a note in my phone. Give me a moment here so I can pull one up. Let's see. All right, times that I've won. Oh boy, let's scroll down. Got past movies and TV shows I want to watch. There's marketing ideas for the show. Let's see. I seem to have misplaced my list, but I swear it's happened. And here's what may be one of the biggest. I don't want to say bad things or kicks in the crotch, or whatever. It's because it's not a bad thing. I mean, if the fact it's not just a dog she found in the road, it's a puppy, and it's she's already sent a photo, and it's like in the car just next to her, so because she could get it out of the road. So it's a puppy, which makes it even tougher because puppies are really cute. I do, though, Trey, you like to point this out a lot, especially when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys. I try to find a positive angle in things, not all the time, but just to try to balance out stuff, to try to avoid the doom and gloom nature of our world. I try to find at least one little sign of hope. And that is, at least this time, the four-legged creature my wife found in a road wasn't a goat. So it's an improvement. And we do not currently own a goat. So that's one right there. That's a W, Trey. We do not own a goat. Ha!
You sure you want to get cocky with that?
Yeah.
All right, we don't own a goat yet.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. Hey, listen, you can take. It's not a cat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. There's two.
Yeah.
There's two pieces of good news about my wife finding a puppy in a road. One, it's not a goat, and two, it's not a cat. All right, so that's something.
But she could have just instead of putting it in the car, because I'm assuming there's other puppies somewhere else, and then probably a mom somewhere. If it was wandering in the road, she could have just moved it back into like where the direction it was coming from, and maybe it would have wandered back and found its brothers and sisters and its mom.
Or it was dumped by an a-hole owner. You never know.
Yeah. That is true. That does happen quite a bit. I've seen that happen, especially here in Mesquite. There's a lot of dogs getting dropped off.
Go out into the country. It's
very, very common
every weekend.
And the thing that I'm worried about is if I try to put my foot down and tell my wife, no, you cannot keep that puppy you just found in the road.
You're gonna have a big hole in your floor.
No, I'm going to be the one that gets dumped on the side of the road.
And then there's going to be some other podcast. Be like, you know what? My wife found a Dan.
I told her he didn't want anymore. I'm tired of cleaning up after his box.
And why does Dan poop in a box?
because his wife taught him.
It was punishment for me trying to put my foot down that one time.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing into the Treehouse now. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, give her and all of them there a call, 214-368-3838, the website brooksplumbingtexas.com. When I had my house in Dallas, Jacqueline, you came out a few times to help us with some issues, and your response time was phenomenal. And it wasn't just because it was me. It was because that's the kind of company you run. You go out of your way trying to help every client and try to get there as soon as you can.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is that plumbing is unfortunately a need and not so much a want. Yes, you can want to remodel the bathroom and that's not pressing, but typically when it comes to service or leak investigations, et cetera, if you've got a stoppage on the main line and you don't know and you keep putting liquid or, waste into the drains, if it has nowhere to go, it will come back in the house. And at that point in time, it's no longer a want, it's a need. And that sort of thing can't wait. When you have those emergencies, you have got to figure out how to manage the crew so that you can have the best response time.
That's right. And they'll show up and they'll do it quickly. Call Jacqueline from Brooks Plumbing for any and all of those plumbing wants and needs. 214-368-3838. And again, that website, brooksplumbingtexas.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Back inside the Treehouse now, the previous segment of the Treehouse brought to you by Cook DFW. Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Give Daniel Cook a call for your free roof inspection, 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW, the website, cookdfw.com. Semi-random question for you. Is that an Indian in your cupboard? Now, it sounds a little out of context, because it is, unless you've been watching the news this week, in which case that might make a little bit of sense, because even earlier today, Raj did a little fist pump action at me saying, like, we got one in the White House.
We do. We got.
Because on the heels of Donald Trump winning the presidential election for the second time, because now they're on the heels of the victory, now they got to start staffing up for the transition and change of power to happen January 20th. So we're in that time where they got to start figuring out who's going to do what in the new administration.
Mm-hmm.
And so this week, there's been a flurry of announcements about Donald Trump's appointees in the White House. And this is one that made Raj super, super happy. And it's one that has made me giggle nonstop since I saw this headline. Trump announces Musk, Ramaswamy will lead newly created Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, and my happiness was sarcasm, by the way. No.
Well, my joy is derived from the fact that Trump announced two heads of the new Department of the Government for Efficiency, because nothing screams efficiency more than two people in charge of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And one billionaire, one almost billionaire, in charge for efficiency. Okay, that works. And I know the reason that I was happy about Vivek Ramaswamy getting, I just cannot wait to hear the announcement from Trump, just to hear him mess up Ramaswamy's last name over and over and over again for the next 4 years. He'll never get it right.
And you know what? I hope he doesn't, because that'll make for a great bit.
Yes, it's gonna be like, please welcome Shivek Pamaswamy. Like, nope, that's not it at all, Donald.
Vivian Papashmirmi.
Papa Smear Me. I don't know what his name is. Bring the Indian kid up here.
Bring the brown one.
Yeah, so we got Vivek and Elon efficiency.
I'm just stuck on the whole thing of you're having a new department called the Department of Government Efficiency, which stands for, when you shorten it down to the initials, it's Doge acronym, which I'm sure makes Elon Musk happy. But I just can't get over the irony of having two heads of the same department, and that department is efficiency.
Yes,
but it did get me thinking though about some of Trump's other appointees, because these aren't the only ones. Now, he's got two in that one job, but President Trump's new government appointees are drawing lots of headlines, not the least of which is Elon and Ramaswamy. Did I say that right?
No, that's the best part.
Yeah, I'll never get it right either.
No,
as the heads of the Department of Government Efficiency. For example, there are some other appointees that Trump has announced that is making headlines. Triumph, the insult comic dog, is taking over the Department of Defense, because if you're at war with another country, don't you just want to poop on them as well? Also, Chris Christie is in charge of the National School Lunch Program.
Yes, it's gonna be it's gonna be a golden corral in every high school.
I mean, look, you tell the kids around the country that their eyes are gonna light up and say, "Hell yeah, this is making America great again."
There's gonna be a gravy fountain next to the chocolate fountain.
MSNBC host Brian Williams is in charge of the Department of Truth. There I was. Clint Eastwood is heading up the Department of Furniture, because that man knows a good chair when he sees one.
Yes, he does.
Also, another new appointee in Donald Trump's administration, Bill Burr, is going to be in charge of the Department of Positive Vibes. And finally, of President Trump's new government appointees, the Predator is the new head of Border Patrol.
That would actually be a good pick. Of all the picks he's had, I would be behind that one. I wouldn't know it because he's invisible, but I'd be behind it.
But if you had the choice, behind him is probably the smart location.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
The previous segment of the Treehouse brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, call Jacqueline at Brooks Plumbing, 214-368-3838. That's 214-368-3838. The website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. We were just talking about how Elon Musk is having a really good week, being named to the Trump administration's head of government efficiency. Congratulations to Elon. So while Elon's having himself a pretty good week, his Cybertruck is not.
It's had a bad year.
It has had a really down year. Cybertruck owners are finding out the hard way that covering their trucks with stickers to protect the bodywork might not be the solution they think it is. For an electric truck that's been touted as the perfect vehicle for the apocalypse, the Tesla Cybertruck is proving to be a bit of a snowflake in the real world. Since deliveries of the electric pickup started, Tesla's flagship has been damaged by water, slippery accelerator pedals, and even an angsty YouTuber. That was when a YouTuber ran it through a durability test next to an F-150, and the Cybertruck's frame snapped. Oops.
Efficiency.
Yeah. Now the truck's bodywork is being permanently damaged by vinyl wraps and stickers that are being stuck to its precious panels. Now, we already knew, thanks to Trey, that the stainless steel bodywork that Tesla fits to the Cybertruck wasn't really stainless after trucks were delivered with rust marks picked up in transit. Also, the finger smudges all over the doors, because Trey, ever since you brought that up, anytime that I have seen a Cybertruck, I immediately look to around the seams in the doors where the handles are supposed to be, and the fingerprints are everywhere. Tara and I were having brunch with friends in Louisville, and a Cybertruck pulls up, and this family of 4 gets out. And a Cybertruck is definitely not what I would picture as the ideal family vehicle, especially knowing that the body is susceptible to fingerprints. You're a family of 4. Of that 4, 2 of those are children. You got little kid handprints all over that Cybertruck.
Well,
and it doesn't come off.
The acid in or whatever in the oil and acid in your skin reacts with the metal, and so no, it almost leaves like permanent smudges after a while. That's not to mention, if you go look, especially not being sexist, but cars that women drive, if you ever look around the door handles, there's always scratches and everything else from rings and everything else that happens to every vehicle. Then you take this thing. Yeah.
And it's just ugly. Like, it's just a hideous looking car or truck or whatever it is. And
to me, it looks exactly like the soapbox derby car that my dad and I did when I was in Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
So not the actual soapbox derby where you yourself as the child get in the homemade vehicle and go downhill. Now this was the newer version of it where they give you basically a block of wood, and then you're supposed to make your little soapbox derby race car out of the wood block, and then it goes down a little ramp, and then you see who wins. But that's the shape of the one that I had when I was in like 2nd grade. It was just like one angle and another angle, and that was it, because I shouldn't be using power tools.
That is true. But
I mean, I was lucky just that it had wheels.
Yeah, I just I don't understand the appeal of the car. And the stainless steel thing, I think even DeLorean figured that out, like where he had, like, you could buy whatever it was to like clean the car.
Yeah. That's actually a good point, because if it really is stainless steel, and I don't think that it is, but if it was, then wouldn't you be able to get rid of all those fingerprint smudges by just using that same cleaner can't you just use the same cleaner that you use for your stainless refrigerator?
Yeah, it's not a stainless steel. I forgot, but it's lighter weight, high tech.
Gotcha.
My favorite thing about, it's a meme that goes around. It's basically saying that the Cybertruck is just a Pontiac Aztec with PlayStation graphics. And it's, if you look at it, it is.
It is. I didn't even think about that, but that's exactly what it is.
If they ever reboot Breaking Bad, he's going to graduate from the Pontiac Aztec to the Cybertruck.
I like how your Cybertruck comes with a little can of Brasso, so you can you need to clean a stainless steel, refrigerator or your $250,000 car. Use this. Like, that's just, that's terrible. I've seen so many of them in the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if they're like the shipments have come in, and now people are not realizing that they're.
No, there's, they have, I forgot what the number is, but they're tens of thousands basically just sitting in a lot somewhere that because they know they're defective. Like
Really?
sooner or later,
Yes.
Tesla's going to have to just eat it on that one and just go, yeah, this was just a big giant mistake. And
Yeah, but I mean, it also helps that the car can be recycled, so that's good. You can just throw it in the recycling bin,
There you
and
go.
somebody
Well-
can come and pick it up.
Maybe
Yeah,
you can remake it into a walker for old people because that has more all-terrain capabilities than the Cybertruck itself.
now it'll be a conundrum for Elon because as the head of government efficiency, he's also going to take, the government basically paid for the Cybertruck and, all electric vehicles through subsidies. So, there's an inefficiency with which, he can stop.
This sounds like a paradox.
It is a conundrum.
His first order of business is to cancel himself.
It turns out I wasn't very efficient on this one.
We'll change that. Only EVs that work from this point forward.
Yeah. With a little footnote for historians that Elon sent the wrong Tesla to space.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
I mentioned it before, sort of jokingly, but I really mean it. You can advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com, and you too can advertise right here inside the Treehouse, treehouseonair@gmail.com. There is a new sexiest man alive. I'll be honest, I expected more fanfare out of the two of you.
You gotta give.
That's the wrong.
No, I mean, I think I saw it this morning, and good on him because when he first joined the office, I would have not predicted that. But they turned him into an action hero.
You're just stepping all over my big announcement, aren't you?
Oh no, I didn't say who it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, office action hero.
Yeah, Craig Robinson. Duh.
It's Dwight. Dwight is the sexiest man alive. Rainn Wilson. No, there is a new sexiest man alive. It is, of course, as Raj hinted, John Krasinski. At any point in watching The Office, did you think that one day Jim from The Office would be named sexiest man alive?
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like he was kind of a doughy, kind of a fun, like sarcastic, like straight guy. The straight man for the punchlines. It's the same like with Paul Rudd. Like when you saw Paul Rudd on Friends, did you ever go, well, last year I think he was sexiest man alive? It was Paul Rudd, I believe.
Let me double check on that, but I think so. Honestly, you could go back to, like you say, like you were saying, Paul Rudd on Friends. You can go back and say, that guy right there one day is going to be a superhero in a superhero movie. You'd have been like, no, that is not going to happen at all.
Yeah, but good for Krasinski. He's a good looking fella, tall. They turned him, like I said, into an action star, and it worked. Like it's one of those, like they tried that with Tyler Perry, and that didn't go so well. They took Medea out of the dress and tried to put a gun in his hand. Didn't go so well. But Jim from The Office, they got him out there, and it looks good.
Yeah, I will say I love his turn as Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan. I love the Jack Ryan series. The sexiest man alive announcement also coincides with being able to promote that they're going to do a new Jack Ryan movie with John Krasinski reprising the role. So as it happens in Hollywood, nothing is ever just the one thing that it is. There's usually some other tie-in in there, something to promote, something to sell. And in this case, it's not just that Krasinski's sexiest man alive. It's also a nice tool to announce that they're doing a Jack Ryan movie.
Yeah. I did not know. I didn't see that they were doing the movie, but that's very cool. We'll check that out. I enjoyed the Jack Ryan series as well. So
Is it going to be? I saw that last week. Is it going to be? Is that an Amazon movie or is it going to be an actual box office movie?
You know what? I don't know. And here's the thing, Trey. I don't think anyone else knows because no, I'm serious. Like they're making movies right now and they don't know where they're going to end up. So there's a really good example of this lately was the new Clooney Brad Pitt film Wolves, right? That was initially supposed to be a theater release. And I don't know why, but they decided not to release it in theaters. Instead, sold it to streaming. I guess the production company did. But Clooney and Pitt, I don't think had signed off on streaming stuff. So they weren't going to make any additional residual money on the streaming numbers. They were just paid as like a normal box office film. So whenever the next actors and Hollywood strike type negotiation happens, they need to figure that out as well. Like AI was one thing, but they also need to figure out if you're doing a movie, the contracts are different if it's a release to theater film versus a streaming film.
Interesting. I wouldn't think that would be possible for them to sign off on their likeness without them having a contract for streaming.
Well, I promise you all the movies have a streaming, like they know they're going to stream. So they're getting something. And especially, I mean, Apple loses so much money on Apple TV. It's ridiculous. But they have the money to lose. And,
right.
It's like, I forgot what the number, but they lose more money than any other streaming service because they do really good. Their production stuff is high quality. But it's basically just a bonus so people will just get all in on Apple.
I've never heard of this movie, Wolves. I didn't even hear about this. But,
I saw some promotion for it. It's a buddy film for Clooney and Pitt. They both are hitmen or they're cleaners after someone's died. Whatever the case is, they have an illegal type job. They think they're the only one in the world that does it. Turns out there's another one, and then it becomes a buddy film. Other sexiest men alive in recent years. So this year is John Krasinski. Last year was Patrick Dempsey. Okay, Patrick Dempsey was last year. 2022 was Chris Evans. 2021 was Paul Rudd.
Oh, okay.
How does that sit with you that Paul Rudd was named sexiest man alive before Chris Evans?
How does that sit with Chris Evans?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm effing Captain America. Yeah, that is good on Rudd. Like I don't know what moisturizer he uses, but I would like it because he doesn't age.
He does not. I mean, when
people in the Marvel universe, they don't age.
When you become part of a Deadpool and Wolverine bit that everyone gets, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. 2020 was Michael B. Jordan, another MCU product. 2019 was John Legend. 2018 was Idris Elba, also from The Office for a time. 2017 was Blake Shelton. Still not sure about that one.
Yeah, that one doesn't make any sense.
You know who's pissed off about that one?
Coors Light. That's what it looks like. It just looks bloated as all hell on the cover of that. He's like wearing like a red flannel and he's just bloodshot eyes.
No. The person who's really pissed off about Blake Shelton being named sexiest man alive is Luke Bryan. Man, that motherfucker isn't pretty at all. I've seen sexier tractors than Blake Shelton. And I mean it. I don't just mean the one that Kenny Chesney rides around on. I mean, why in the am I wearing these skinny jeans all the god time if I can't be named sexiest man alive? Mother. God. I hate this planet.
I just imagine.
Come to think of it, I've seen better tractors than Blake Shelton. John Deere's better looking. What are some other tractors? Sford, I think, has tractors. They're better looking. Caterpillar, really, God, they're hot compared to Blake Shelton. And then if you want to go like sexy Asian, you get your Kubota tractor.
for the Asian
all
market.
sexier than Blake Shelton. Piece of. I hate him.
That's what you get. That's what you get when you're on a show that people watch.
Right.
And you look like
You and the Blake Shelton you rode in on.
You also have to sit next to Katy Perry, who makes you look like garbage.
I'll give you that. That was a big up on my part.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Go to treehouseonair.com, and while you're there, you can talk back to us right here inside the Treehouse. On treehouseonair.com, lower right, you see a little microphone. You can click on that and leave us a message. You can do it right there on your phone, record it, and it'll be sent to us, and we'll get that, and then perhaps you can hear yourself inside an episode of the Treehouse. Wouldn't that be fun for everybody? Why are you looking at me like that, Trey?
I'm just thinking, say hi to Jerry.
He'd love it if you said hi.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing to get to before we take off for the day. I am wondering, I'm going to tell you about a gentleman here. And as I tell you about this gentleman and his predicament, I want you to ask yourself the question, is this the luckiest man in the world? This is in Lee County. Honest to God, I don't know where that is. Trey, can you look that up real quick?
Sounds like Iowa.
You think so? I'm not sure.
Which one? What story is it?
The Colorful Man story.
Oh, that's Florida.
Should have known. All right, so we're gonna just kind of just rewind in our brains and start this segment all over again. Is this Florida man the luckiest man in the world? Trey's wondering how is this going to be possible because he knows the story. In Florida, a Lee County man is arrested on a first-degree terrorist threat charge after allegedly threatening to blow up an Ulta beauty store in Opelika. His colorful threats were matched by his colorful face. I'm going to show you, gentlemen, his mugshot. And I mean it. It really is. It's a colorful face. So there he is. I mean, look, if we're being honest, if you were to type a prompt into Chat GPT and say, produce a photo of Florida man, that's a pretty good start.
Boy, Post Malone let himself go, huh? That was terrible. What happened to the Ultimate Warrior? Jeez.
Yeah.
According to court documents, 42-year-old Timothy Lincoln was arrested after allegedly being overheard by an Ulta Beauty employee saying, "I'm going to blow this place up." The employee called authorities, to which all employees of the establishment had to evacuate the premises. Officers arrived on the scene and then took the colorful-faced man into custody. In his mugshot, he had several scribbles across his face. It's not clear as to why there were several scribbles across his face. But as you look at it, I mean, he's got a blue beard, a camo tank top. Then he's got some blue paint on the end of his nose. So it's kind of like a lifeguard paint job, like around the end of the nose, but instead of white sunscreen, it's blue. And then it looks like a kid who's been ODing on Ritalin got at his face with the 16 crayon box. And it looks like a marker that someone wrote letters, and I can't tell what that is. It looks sort of like
Man.
a T and a backwards N and then an R and then I can't tell what that
You
is.
guys are horrible, horrible Christians. That is a crown of thorns, and what was above Jesus, it's an INRI. It's Latin, I believe.
Which stands for Florida?
Yes. It stands for advertise here.
So Jesus was the original Florida man. Florida man rides donkey into town, gets arrested.
Yes, and I'm assuming that's supposed to be the blood streaming down the face
Got
from
it.
the crown of thorns.
Okay, now it makes sense. And
I think the blue beard happened when the employees evacuated the building. He was, I think, the only one left inside. So I'm pretty sure he was like, "Let's see what we can do."
Maybe. And the blue nose?
Lifeguard duty. Creative lifeguard. It's a little like he was saying, a little sunscreen right there. A little dab. You don't want to get skin cancer with a face that pretty.
No, definitely not. You want to preserve that thing. So, in case you're wondering why this man, who was arrested for terroristic threats at an Ulta Beauty, is the luckiest man in the world, it's because he is now banned for life from Ulta Beauty. Any man in a relationship with a woman right now is going, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is one lucky dude. Real quick, is there a worse question to be asked if you're running around doing errands that day and then she asks, hey, can we stop in at Ulta real quick? Oh no.
I don't know, Dan. I still have my balls.
But he's got a puppy.
Ironically, the puppy has balls too. Just me. Empty coin purse. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. Follow us on social media at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, at Trey Trenholm 1. And for Raj, at Comedian Raj. We will see you back in here tomorrow inside the Treehouse.